Good morning, everyone. Can I first of all pass on the regrets from my Minister, Mark H. Durkin, for his inability to be here today. Unfortunately, he was double booked. His head told him to go to the other event, which he has this morning. His heart told him to come here, and he certainly regrets his inability to be here today. So he sent me instead. And I'm very much the second best, I have to say. I want to give you a sense of where we are in Northern Ireland at the moment in terms of reforming local government and planning. And I'll start by saying that this process began with decisions by the then direct rule ministers back in 2006 at around about the same time as the preparation of the regional strategic framework. And I think the publication of the strategic framework comes at a time when it's probably most useful in Northern Ireland terms as we move to create those 11 new councils from the existing 26 new councils on the 1st of April 2015. Because work doesn't begin on the 1st of April 2015, it began some time ago, and it's moving at pace to create those new local authorities. And we're in a process, a very detailed process, to put those new organisations together with their new powers, with their new functions, to work as part of a new government structure in Northern Ireland as part of a wider set of public sector reforms. First of all, the drivers, north and south, for change are very similar. We've had a global financial crisis that has led to almost every economy in the world dipping into recession, in some cases twice. Markets have declined, and you've all seen the evidence of market decline around you on a day and daily basis. In the north, we have a significant driver in the Executive's programme for government, and within that, a strong commitment across the Executive as a whole to delivering local government reform and planning reform. And the Regional Strategic Framework provides a context for 5 of the 11 new councils in Northern Ireland to work within. And I'll talk a little bit more about why the publication of the framework is important at this time in our preparations to put those new councils in place. So what are the opportunities and the challenges that come out of this reform process, both north and south? Firstly, we need to bring decisions and decision making closer to local communities. Not in central government, not by a single minister in the Executive, but by you in local councils for local communities, working with those local communities and other partners in the public sector and beyond to deliver the best possible future and quality of life for those communities that you serve. It's to build stronger and more effective local democracy, because local democracy is the bedrock of democracy north and south in this island. And there's a strong desire, north and south, to improve and empower local democracy. It's also about delivering better services to citizens, because you represent every citizen in this island. And you represent a significant proportion of those citizens in the cross-border area network. So it's about influencing, place shaping, about really shaping communities and ensuring that they develop in an appropriate and a positive and a productive way in future. And it's about developing greater integration across government as a whole and being at the heart of government in leading the integration of thinking on how you serve local communities. But it brings with it a number of challenges. And the challenges in Northern Ireland and in the South arise from the changing roles and also the need to constantly guard against abuse and bad practice as we bring forward those new powers and responsibilities at a regional and sub-regional level. And it's also balancing the local with the strategic, something which is recognised and set out in a fair amount of detail in the Regional Strategic Framework and in the national documents, both north and south. So just to remind you what the reform package is in Northern Ireland in relation to both local government and planning, and they are an integrated reform package. They walk hand in hand. what are we transferring from central government to local government in Northern Ireland? The vast bulk of responsibility for planning functions, the local development plan functions, working within the context of a new community planning function where local government will lead the development of community plans at local level, working with public sector partners, working with communities, and alongside that, as part of the physical expression of those new community plans, your new local development plans. Within that, we're making a very significant change in the balance of responsibility for policy, because we're moving from over 1,000 pages of regional policy to introducing a very slim, a very succinct document, probably less than 100 pages, to set out policy at the regional level. And the vast majority of responsibility for developing policy will rest with the new councils and will be integrated into their new development plans, and will give expression to what those councils and those communities see as their needs for development. But also alongside that development planning function, we're also passing over the vast bulk of responsibility for decision making on planning applications and over consents. Over 99.5%, we believe, of those decisions will fall to the new councils themselves. So that provides your ability to be able to translate your community plan and your new local development plan and really express the outworkings of that plan on the ground. The other things that are transferring, which add to the mix and will add to the new council's ability to be able to deliver for local communities. From DRD, we're transferring off-street car parking. From DSD, urban regeneration and community development. That, together with the planning functions, I think forms an important part of the new suite of functions within councils, together with the community planning function itself. We're also transferring some housing responsibilities. More may follow in future. Importantly, we're strengthening council's responsibilities for delivering local economic development and local tourism development. And again, that can sit alongside and contribute to your ability to deliver against your community plan and your development plan, and a range of other issues. Importantly, though, we're changing the context within which local government works. We're strengthening the way in which local government expresses the way in which it is organised and governed, and we're putting brand new governance arrangements in place. We're ensuring that fairness and proportionality is delivered in terms of the responsibilities that are attributed to individuals and groups within the new council. We're putting in place a new performance management regime where, together with the executive, you will drive forward what Northern Ireland needs and what this region needs as a whole. We're also putting in place a new power of general competence. And what that means in practice is that the new councils will be able to do anything which is not prescribed otherwise by law. That's a brand new and a very powerful tool in the armoury of the new councils to get on and deliver what needs to be delivered for your local communities. And as I mentioned earlier, there will be a new power of community planning where councils will lead a community planning process, where other organisations will be required to sit down with councils in framing plans for your council area, and where you will work as councils in a positive way with your local communities and engage with those local communities in framing those community plans. So we're completely changing not only the structure of local government, but the way that local government works. We're adding to the powers, and the executive has also committed to looking again, a year after the creation of the new councils, at whether further powers should be transferred to those new councils. Our vision for planning and local government in future, as I said and I've mentioned, you will make the plans. You will make them within a brand new plan-making context. We have streamlined the existing plan system. The plans that you will develop will be developed much more quickly than we were ever able to develop them in the past in the department. And that's important because we want you, as new councils, to be able to develop your community plans and your new development plans within 2 years of coming into being on the 1st of April 2015. Because we want you to provide the new context within which planning can deliver for citizens. And that's why we've taken this step to put in place the resources within the department to work with your statutory transition committees in the new councils and to continue to work beyond the elections on the 22nd of May 2014 with your new councils in shadow form to put those new development plans or the bulk of the preparatory work for those new plans in place. We've also issued foundation guidance for the development of your new community plans. So we want those new 11 councils to be up and running on the 1st of April 2015, having done a good deal of the legwork to position them to put their new community plans and their new development plans in place within the shortest possible period of time. We also want the new councils, and we would envision the new councils connecting with the delivery of other services to citizens, again through the community planning process, but by much more direct engagement and by playing a much more positive and pivotal role in working with other public authorities and with the executive in delivering for citizens. The aim is to deliver for communities, and we shouldn't lose sight of that aim. That's what lies at the heart of the reform process. And within this new process, we need to build a very strong connection with place, with communities, with development, with how we want to see our communities go forward in future. And within that, and a core part of the reform programme is developing your ability as councils and as councillors to exercise and deliver strong civic leadership. Leadership is not just from Belfast, it's not just from Stormont, it will be from you in council, and you will play probably the most important role in leading and developing local communities from 2015 onwards. I think all of this brings opportunities for further and better collaboration, and that's why I see the publication of the Regional Strategic Framework as being so important at this time. Because in preparing and doing the groundwork for the new development plans, in doing the groundwork for the community plans, we can look at these issues. And I will be encouraging, and my minister will be encouraging, each of the new councils in shadow form and the existing statutory transition committees to work together within this network to ensure that the cross-border area network develops and develops in a cooperative way, and that we consider these and other issues on a cooperative basis. I think the Regional Strategic Framework is great. It comes at a really important time in the development of local government north and south. It comes at a time when it can play a significant role in helping our new organisations, north and south, grip the very difficult issues that they're going to have to deal with as we come out of recession and move forward. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much for the invitation today. Over to you. Thank you.